People, we got a beautiful, beautiful red disc. I'm sorry, but the camera doesn't do justice what I see with my eye. It's beautiful, beautiful red. It's actually also a color for Yom Kippur, which is celebrated today. I think the high priest went into the Holy of Holies, and there was a thread that had to turn red, if I'm correct. I'd allow somebody to correct me on that, but I think that's the story. So that red is also a color of the day. I actually just turned around and I saw this beautiful red sunrise because I was heading, I was heading someplace else. I was heading out to the intersection, to stand out at the intersection for you, to show you how nothing goes on today. Inside the Arab communities who live here, quite a few Arab communities live in Galilee, life goes on as normal today. Inside the communities, they can drive and all the rest of it. But all the major Israeli, all the Israeli areas, they are actually, here's the synagogue. I hope to come back here again today after going to the intersection just to finish up, because our synagogue has the oldest menorah, but there's something actually more important on the stone, which is the back end of it. There's the menorah. Actually, you know, I might just do that now. And then we can go over to the intersection. I was just talking to one of the employees there about a little situation. So the first thing is, let's go to see the Magdala stone, because that's good it would be to give you the sensation of being out there at the intersection with no traffic. I think if my dad heard these hinges, God rest his soul, he said they'd need some oil. So let's get down here quickly. For those who haven't been here for a while, the visitor center has come on nicely in many respects, but that's been a while now. So this part of the stone is very interesting, because these two wheels and the flames of fire underneath represent the charge of fire, and they represent in this sense the Holy of Holies. So I'm just going to stay with a few topics like this here, because I have a purpose in doing that. And then here on the top of the stone we have this famous rosette, which Rina Tal Gam says is the decoration on the veil before the Holy of Holies. And once a year the high priest went through the veil before the Holy of Holies to go into the Holy of Holies. It was only once a year, it was only the high priest. And he went in there alone into that portion of the temple, so sacred portion of the temple, which was the understood place of the presence of the Almighty. In the first temple they had the Ark of the Covenant there. And so this was the big event of Yom Kippur, to offer atonement for sins. And imagine, since that time, even 2,000 years after the destruction of the temple, the people continue in this practice. Not all the people are religiously... I wonder if I can go through here, or it shouldn't be locked because it's just a turnstile. Yeah, I think I can go out here. Good, there we are. So where was I? The Holy of Holies then is the place where the high priest would go to offer the sacrifice. They had 2 goats. One was offered to God in sacrifice in the temple, and one was sent out into the desert, out into that mount, the highest mountain, the Judean desert, and symbolically given off to Satan. That's the idea. The devil was in the desert areas. That's why we also have in the Gospels that Jesus goes to the desert to pray, and he's in combat with the devil there. So this is the new access road we have here in Magdala. It's interesting, the first reading we have today, instead of going out the new access, well, I'll go out the new access road so you can see it. I wanted to go straight up to the intersection there, just to, like I would always have gone, but this opened again. And this used to be the original road into the property, but it was closed by the authorities, and now it's reopened with the development of a new intersection here, a new traffic circle. If we look at the first reading today, in the book of Ezra, King Cyrus is mandating the return of the exiles to Jerusalem. At least he's mandating the possibility for them to return, and he's encouraging the people to help them, their own people, to give them goods, and they give them many treasures, gold and silver, to go back and re-establish the temple. And I think this reading is very appropriate today in another context. This past weekend, Pope Francis was in Marseille, in the south of France, at the port city, which apparently is becoming a great example of living together, different peoples. And there was a meeting with the major religious heads. There was a conference on the situation and plight of immigrants, and especially all the human trafficking and the abuse of immigrants, and sometimes the indifference and lack of help toward them. It's a very difficult problem politically, but he was advocating very much the respect for the human being. Isn't this a beautiful new intersection here, traffic circle? Done very And now this would normally be filled with traffic. Here we have some Arab villages nearby, Wadi Hammam and others. And so they obviously are called on to go to work to help in some essential services. And that's why you'll see some exceptional traffic. But in general, Israelis will be out today on their bicycles on the freeways. Those of them who are less into the fasting part, and the average Israeli today, the pious Israeli is praying and fasting all day till evening. Religious people take this very seriously. Across the street here is our synagogue, the second synagogue in Magdala. So this first reading reminds us of that situation of human beings uprooted from their homes and all the suffering that entails. See, I can walk in the center of the road here, no problem. No problem at all. And here is this portion that's been kept. A lot of the excavation is covered up over there. And so there's the synagogue. Another day we'll spend a little bit more time here again. It's time to do that. But that'll be enough for today. So you saw 2 synagogues already today, imagine, on Yom Kippur. So you can have your choice of synagogue to attend if you're a Jewish person. It's an important thing. Things are so quiet. This is a very busy time. And things are stopped. Imagine a culture that's able to stop like this. A whole country. There are some pros and some cons, obviously, but I think the consciousness and ability of people to have this as a national policy, it's an amazing cultural thing, like the Shabbat. In a certain sense, it's a rare phenomenon, and it makes us think. I'm not sure if I explained the Yom Kippur. It's for in Lent we have, in the Christian tradition, we have 40 days of fasting, right? The Jewish people have Ramadan, and in a certain sense, the spirit of those days is very much contained in Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is relevant for us Christians as well, because the letter to the Hebrews, for example, is interpreted in the light of Yom Kippur. That's very interesting. I think we'll leave it like this for today. Here's an ambulance going, so we can pray for people in... No, this is police. And usually the Arab Israeli officers will be on duty today as well, so that more of the Jewish folks can have their Yom Kippur with their families in their local communities. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. From Yom Kippur here in Galilee and Israel in this new year. The clouds are also a sign of the hope for rain. It's always expected a little sprinkling in the New Year period. And the big prayer is that everybody may be inscribed in the Book of Life. And we also talk about the Book of Life. It's mentioned in the Book of Revelations, obviously the ancient manner of conceiving that God loves us personally and has our name written in his Book of Life. God bless you.